Blessings of Almighty. May I request Ms. Kamakshi Saptarishi.
Please on the dais. It's a great pleasure in welcoming you all to the launch of this new rice variety called Dr. Mohans Jeevan Dharini high fiber rice and high fiber rice Rava, who is undoubtedly the world's leading agriculture, one of 20 most influential Asians of the 20th century. I quote, a living legend in dietetics research led by Mrs. Sudha Vasudevan and our collaborators in this work, namely Amrut Healthcare Foods Private Limited, which has resulted in the production of this unique high fiber rice and the high fiber rice Rava, both of which are the first of their kind, not only in India, but we think the first time in the world. I would once again like to welcome our distinguished guests.
The carbohydrate property of food, which tells you how much a food substance will raise your blood sugar when consumed. Now, this glycemic food that you consume will raise your blood sugar on a score of, say, 0 to 100. And the average South Indian adult consumes about 253 rice variety. This is a special, after years and years of research, it's a hybrid rice variety that's developed from the original Ponni rice variety by intensive classical plant breeding and by
Content is present in our Dr. Mohans Jeevan Dharini high fiber rice. And on top of that,
versatile, it's a staple, a spoonful, a cupful of nutrition. Star-fried Prema, Bhog or Sadhya. It works for any of these. Today's tea, sushi, rare and well done. Rolls, wraps, cutlets. Think of anything you want to do.
we request Mr. Rava, founder and CEO of Fibre, to receive the release of Dr. Mohans Solutions to receive the first batch of Dr. Mohans Jeevan Dharini high fiber rice.
I was very happy because I think one of Dr. Mohan's own approach to diabetes has been not just a drug-based approach, but a we already heard from authorities about this particular rice. But may I tell you something about rice itself? We have in the world over 150,000 varieties. There are over 110,000 varieties of rice. And for Ayurvedic hospital, Navara is a rice. So we have to explore them. If you take in our own country, rice is the only crop that is number one because farmers go by. So agronomic properties, but normally the screening is done only for agronomic properties. I'm happy today Dr. Mohan has brought a marriage between medicine and agriculture. I think that's very important. I said earlier, you need a drug, don't use a drug-based approach for always. A food-come-drug-based approach is important. And it's a very good beginning, and I'm sure we'll have many more Mohan rices in the coming years. Once he has started this process, at the beginning of a discovery is when you start looking at the varieties and hybrids. Ponni rice production, rice for specialized purposes, not only rice for it. We have specialized purposes from the culinary angle, like basmati rice. It was also mentioned long colleagues, the team. Mrs. Mohan is no more. Me to be here, and I wish this venture well, and I hope many will benefit. And I hope this is also the beginning of a new era in the marriage between medicine and agriculture. You will be able to discover more and more important properties which remain hidden and unnoticed and undiagnosed. Thank you very much.
I felt like my life has increased by at least 20-25 years more. And as you all know, our country is full of youngsters. I feel really, elated, really, thankful. So some boon has come to me. That's the kind of feeling when I was on the stage. So I'm sure the youth of this country will look for these kind of initiatives and use them for I am Ahmedabad. There we talk about backward integration, a concept called backward integration, where say if we are in the food business, we will think about, say, maybe producing vegetables or producing, say, if you are in the diabetic business, we want more diabetic patients. But here, he is just backward integrating, and you want less patients. So he is just introducing a new variety of rice which will reduce the diabetic, which will reduce, maybe put certain other hospitals with lesser number of hot patients, with lesser number of integration. Hats off to Dr. Mohan for this initiative.
Especially for the release of this precious rice, Jeevan Dharini. And I would like to thank Dr. Mohan for this opportunity. Being passed out from Agriculture University, I always looked for this moment, and I'm really honored, happy, extremely happy. And I congratulate Dr. Mohan and the team for the wonderful product, and being a patent practitioner, I'm really happy that they thought of protecting the product right in the beginning, because just before this is protected. And the second is disclosure becomes very easy. You can talk to people about the products. I've seen people who have diabetes, how much they crave for eating rice. So really wish you all the best to you and the team, and look